Agud Voch Boisai. You didn't shmasi me Mordechai. We got another shir coming in here. We got to hurry up. Sorry for cutting you off. Welcome to all the guests. I see at least probably like 10 guests here. Are you a guest? Shalom, what's your name? From where? Shalom Aleichem. You're also a guest? Shalom Aleichem. Rebbe Tzalel. I had last week, I had 2 chayalim with guns. This week, we had 2 briskers, guys that learn by Rebbe Yeshua. Here's one. Rebbe Tzalel, what's your last name? Layman. Okay, they're not going to kick you out. You're already on the way home. And then I have my cousin, one of my cousins I was very, very close to growing up, Rebbe Fall Joselowski from, we like to call him Yoselewski, from Lakewood. His son is here somewhere. Tzvi, all the way in the corner. Let's see Gershon. Gershon is, it's what's the Shabbos for you? Tzvi. He's available. They're both available. They're on the market. We'll get some other guests. Oh, what's your name? Shalom Aleichem. I met you before.
Sure.
Hollywood, Florida. Shalom Aleichem. Who else? Oh.
Rab's father-in-law.
Who's?
Rab Erli.
Rab Erli. Who's Rab? Where is he? You're a guest. Shalom Aleichem. Yeah? Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? From?
I just moved here.
Another guy just moved there. Shalom Aleichem. Welcome. It's every week. It's What's your name?
Joshua Hines.
From?
Elazar.
Oh, your neighbors.
Chaim Snow's neighbor.
Wow, Chaim Snow.
I've been with you since Brazil.
That's not a good thing, by the way. This is the first time here.
I went to your...
It's good and bad, yeah.
You got the CMOA. He was at the CMOA.
Okay, you're yaitza. Next time you got to come more often, dude.
It's a challenge to get here.
Really?
It's a challenge.
Come on. How far is it? I've been there. 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes. You can walk it even. What's your name?
Shalom Brandon.
From?
I'm from Yerushalayim. You don't have to sing for me.
You moved from Yerushalayim to here?
Yeah.
So you made a Yerida, basically. We don't sing for that.
I'm in here, so I made Aliyah.
Oh. So you're not new, right? Last week, Shalom Aleichem, and then you're new. You're hiding from me? I don't have to say hello to you if you don't want. From where? Where are you? They put, ignore, it's Motzei Shabbos. The guy is, you know about Gary Motzei Shabbos. Gary, what is Shema?
Doing tshuva on the whole year.
Yeah, I don't think so. By the way, it's a bad omen if this is, this is for all the Motzei Shabbosim of the year, right here. Okay, Chabad in Belgium. It's an MDY satellite location. There, MDY Rebelli, I'm a Me'or rabbi at Emory University. That's a guy that does kiruv. To my encouragement and under the leadership of the Atlanta Scholars Kollel, more than 30 people in Atlanta have signed up to learn Masechtas Haryos, including 4 of my Emory University students. Attached is a picture of Dylan, who has never formally learned in yeshiva, who completed his very first daf this week. This experience shows that the reach of MDY can extend everywhere, even to college campuses across America. The energy that MDY has brought to my learning is life-changing, says the Rav himself. I'm just trying to help pay it forward with appreciation. Yaakov Fleschel. Here are the guys learning in Atlanta. And here's Dylan. Rabbi, here's Dylan. Welcome, Dylan. Shalom Aleichem, Dylan. Because we're a little late, we got to get going here. So we're going to cut emails. Masechta sponsor David Salomon, dedicated memory of Avi Meir, Reb Shmuel Baruch, Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi, Doiv Zichron Levracha. Masechta sponsor anonymous, Leilu Nishmas, Doidi Shlomo Yehuda, Zichron Levracha, Shmuel Chaim Zichron Levracha, Sheshoka V'Lomad Kochim Kol Chayav. Anonymous, L'Schus, Rav Shlomo Menachem Tzvi Ben Yenta, sponsored by Skybrook Capital in honor of our friends Meir Kovacs, Taki, and Shamshi for their devotion to Torah study and their Shem. I'm trying to cut one word out of there. Joel Gedalius, yeah, it's Beseder. Maybe we can make it one line one day.
That's going to make the difference.
Huh? That's going to make the difference. Okay, Shamshi Shlafrak. Here we go. Lili Nishmas, my father, Jack and Deli. It's anonymous. Hatzlacha Baruch V'Gashmias. Koil sponsors monthly. Anonymous from London. Hatzlacha in business. Yishkach $10,000 sponsorship. Beautiful. Monthly sponsors. TCS Israel powered by Talking Save. Aaron Kessler. In honor of the marriage of my son and my daughter, my relocating to Eden Gardens in Orlando, Florida. Anonymous from London. Hatzlacha B'Parnasa. Yehuda Lushinsky. In honor of my father's 6th cycle of the Daf. Your big heart and giving to the community is an inspiration for us all. Daily sponsors, Yuri Friedman. Thank you, Rebelli, for the impact you made on me and the Klal. Bebirchas, Ksiv Chsim, Toivel, Kol Yisrael, Amen, Yisher Koyach. MDYR, monthly, Refuah Shlema. Yonatan Eitan Beba Sheva Bracha. Where is he tonight? How come he's not here? Refuah Shlema, Mordechai ben Esther. Refuah Hayeled, Daniel Zev ben Ayelet Esther. Rabbi Sev, Moir de Gedaf. We're holding Daf Hey, Amud Beis, like 15 lines from the bottom. Yesterday, we were discussing what happens if a woman gives birth and she has to bring 2 korbanos. Oh, hold on a second. There's something here before we start. What is this? Oh, it's a letter. Dear Belly, as this year draws to a close, I've been thinking and talking to my family about all the blessings that came our way. There's no question that one of the things I'm grateful for is you. Another year of dafing, which means a year of commitment to the daf, being up early, finishing mesechtas, learning new ideas, and all with the same geschmack and constantly improving graphics. Thanks, Yoshi. Great community spirit and much done up Beis Hamedrash, and of course also for the great evening children's program which my son loves so much. Thanks Akiva and David Gold. I'm literate in tangible means where I can show my appreciation, but my gratitude is overwhelming. He's sitting here in the room. I'm not going to read his name. Yosher Koyach. Thank you. Givaldik. Whoever wants to come over afterwards and look in the letter. Yeah. Oh, here he goes. Okay. Uman. Shalom Aleichem. What?
Anyone wants to join Uman on the boat?
Oh, on the bot. If you have the WhatsApp bot, you just punch in the word Uman. It tells you where to go and how to get there. Givaldik. Okay. So, a woman gives birth. She has to bring 2 korbanos. A bird as a chatos and a keves as an oila. And she was only able to bring one, and then she died. So if she brought the chatas first, then her kids bring the oila afterwards. Okay, this comes to answer the question of why do we bring a asham if it doesn't accomplish anything after the person dies? So if they mess up in the lishma, why do you have to bring the asham? Says the Gemara, Yasser Rav Nachman Rav Sheshes. Sitting around, again, the 3rd time on this daf that some of the Amiroyim are sitting around and discussing Rish Lakish. Elazar has a raya that it's possible to have a carbon. This woman died already, so the carbon oila is coming after her death. It's kosher, even though it doesn't do anything, it doesn't accomplish a kapara. She's dead. Veimeratzin. What does it do? Nevertheless, you bring it. So what's the problem? Do the same thing for an asham. Leiba Rish Lakish Hanunami Leisu v'Liratzu. What do you mean? It does accomplish something. It accomplishes a kapara for the children, the yarshim. When the yarshim bring that carbon, they'll get a little bit of a kapara. Let's think about it for a second. How could the yarshim get a kapara? Hey, Shields, you're here. Shalom Aleichem. TC? Guess. Shalom Aleichem. Yichol, huh?
I haven't gotten shafted yet.
What, I told you they're going to destroy you? That's what I told you?
First reaction.
TC, like, yeah, okay, good. Yitaki, you started looking like a TC guy. Sure, no, I'm just kidding. Givaldik. Okay. Another guest, huh? It's like maybe 15 guests tonight. We didn't even get to all of them. Okay, so are there any guys that are regulars here? Besides Baruch Shafta sitting in the corner over there. 8 and G. These are regulars. Okay. Vilaratzu. Says the Gemara, you led this, and he yoldu, b'nem yoldu. So I was just saying that you have to think about how can one accomplish a kapara with a carbon if it's not his? The Yarshim own it. Who owns it exactly? The woman owns it. The Yarshim own it. They own it completely. They don't own it completely. If they don't own it completely, how could they get a kapara from it? How could they use it? How could it be mechaper their averis? So says Ramaz, I don't understand. You bring this carbon after you give birth. What does it have to do with her? With the children. They didn't give birth. Okay, whatever, I'll just throw this in here. Why not? This guy, Maisa Shahaya, here in Eretz Yisrael, there's guys that don't go into the birthing room with the wives. So the guy's sitting there on Shpilkis. Every 2 minutes he asks the doctor, no, did my wife give birth? What did she give birth to? He says, I'll let you know when it happens. 2 minutes, the no again. Finally comes out, he says, Mazel Tov. It's a girl. He says, why? He starts dancing like a meshugana. He says, what are you so happy about? Most of the guys that I know, they say it's a girl, they start crying. He says, I didn't want my kid to suffer the suffering I just went through while my wife was giving birth. So, this guy, this kid, he didn't give birth, so what does he bring a carbon here? What carbon is this? Emiyaldo, b'nei Emiyaldo. Well, since it's an oila, this could accomplish a lot of different things. Not just to give her a kapara, so as we said, or I don't know if we have to mention it that she brings the carbon because maybe she swore, whatever the reason is, but it's an oila. And it has a side benefit that if she was ever over on an asay, not just an asay, also a lavanita asay. What's a good lavanita asay? Gezel. V'heshivas exela.
Nicer.
I like Gezel better. Tell you why. Because I don't know if I ever mentioned this, there's people that are not sure if they stole. Everybody kind of steals once in a while by not paying people back, not giving, I walked out of the barber like a month ago without paying him. I had no clue. And he's like, nicely, he's like, by the way, I don't know how many times I walked out of stores now, and I without, not deliberately, obviously. So what do you do? What can one do to pay back? Huh? Yeah, how does it work? So yes, I heard about that. I don't know if the Kikapayim. Basically, so you have to give something to the rabbim. But there's the Gemachim, they took advantage of this. You could give money to a Gemach. Let's say you give $1,000 to the Gemach. They acquire your money for the person you stole. They don't know who it is, but whoever he is somewhere. And then they lend that money out. It's a great way to get people to deposit money with them. Okay, whatever. But guys, I think everybody was over here and there, and hopefully we forgive each other for the small things. It was on purpose, payback. The oila comes to be mechaper asay, mitzvahs asay, and lavanita asay. So just like she brings it for those asays, it comes for a kapara for her, so it comes for a kapara for her children. But we have to say that the children acquire this. Remember the kanyilu. The only way they could have a kapara is if they own it. Person left a carbon mincha for his 2 sons, shutfim, umeis, kreva vein by shutfus. You could bring this mincha, and we don't consider the 2 sons shutfim. Says Rashi, say in Menachos, hakol ba b'shutfus. Every single carbon comes as a partnership, but not a mincha. Mincha you can't bring as a partnership. So how did the boys, the Yarshim, bring it? It's not a problem. But if a Yarsh acquires it, so they both acquired, the 2 sons acquired with a partnership. How could they bring it? So what are you going to say? So they don't acquire it. If a person leaves over an animal for his 2 sons, and then he dies, kreva, ve'ema mirimba. They bring it as a carbon for the father, and they're not over on Tmura. What's Tmura? Shalom Aleichem B'chaim Maya. So it says in the pasuk, Lo yachlifenu v'lo yomer oisei toiv b'roi rabbi toiv. Es gebringt a Gast. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name?
Yaakov Martyr
Shalom Aleichem. From
Miami Beach.
Miami. Mishpach over there. My son lives there. You know that? Surfside.
Just moved there like last month, so from Townsville.
All right. Shmak. Welcome. You guys are running. What happened? You were by him for Shabbos?
No, he just picked me up. I was
Wow. Cool. All right. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. We're just getting started here. Listen to this. This is a question I ask a lot of yeshiva guys, a lot of people, not the guys from Bris that we have here tonight. I had 2 guests from Bris. Ask people, what's Tmura? So in the beginning they say, so you have a bunch of fruit, you have to, the kids get down to it. So let's learn this halacha. The halacha is that if you have an animal, you have one animal that you designated as a carbon. It's also for you think it's a good thing. Then all of a sudden you see a nicer animal, right? We discuss this all the time. Here, this guy has an animal, it's a carbon. Basically, he's saying that the second carbon, the second guy on the right, should be instead of the one on the left. It's a nicer, heavier animal, shmak animal. That's the Issa D'Oraisa called Tmura. Now, this is something that not a lot of people know. Tmura, if you're part of this year for a while, you know about Tmura. But this halacha is in addition to that. That what? Partners cannot do Tmura. If you have an animal that's owned in a partnership, you can't do Tmura. It doesn't work. So, says the Gemara, these 2 brothers that inherited an animal, they bring the carbon, and they cannot do Tmura. Wait a minute, why can't they do Tmura? Yamers b'shleim kanyu, holding it like the last line on Amud Beis. If you say that they actually acquired the animal, then it makes a lot of sense. They acquired the animal. Now they're partners. The 2 brothers. The 2 brothers are partners. Partners cannot cause Tmura. They can't change the animal. They have it like a shutfim. They're like partners. Top of Amud Aleph. But if you're telling me, like we try to say over here, that that a son, a Yerush, does not acquire the carbon from a parent, Amuri Nami Limru, they should be able to do Tmura. Now, the obvious question that people should be asking to themselves right now is, Shamshi, what's the question?
Still owned by 2 people.
No. Huh? Why is the problem to do Tmura?
Always have a problem.
The problem to do Tmura now is they don't own it. If you don't own it, how do you do Tmura on something you don't own? You can't go to somebody else's animal and say, that should be instead of that one. If you own it, you can do Tmura. Okay, that's not such a problem because it's Xeris HaKasa. We're going to see that there's a pasuk that says they could do Tmura as Yarshin. But they don't own it. Okay, says the Gemara, Shani Hasam, the Amar Kra. I'm going to say this again. If you have an issue with this sugya, if any sugya bothers you and you're not getting or you came late, it's not a problem. We're doing Daf Yomi. Every 2 minutes we start something new. The Amar Kra, Im Homer Yomer l'Rabbi is a Yoirish. That's the pasuk. It's a double lashon. Homer Yomer. Why a double lashon? The Rabbi is a Yoirish. Now what? That someone who inherits Echad Meimer Ben Shnai Memir. Okay. Mascular of Yaakov ben Harpkoi, the Limata Gabi Maizdich Siv, in Gol Yigal. She tell me if there's a double lashon, we darshan that one could do it and not 2 people. Only one. By Maiser we also have a double lashon. In Gol Yigal. We're talking about Maiser Sheni. So let me just show you again, if you're new to the shir, you just started, let's say in Zevachim, this is for the new guys, not for the old guys. The way it works is you have a pile of fruit. You have to give 2% to the Kayin. Approximately 2%. 10% you give to the Levi. The next 10% that's left over, you take for yourself. It's yours. It's called Maiser Sheni. In years 1, 2, 4, 5. Let's say you have a lot of fruit, you own a tremendous amount of trees, whatever, and you cannot bring all that fruit. You must eat that fruit in Yerushalayim. You can't bring it, it's too heavy. So you can redeem it for cash. You give the guy the fruit, and you get cash. Then you take, I can't do this all over again. Maybe Gershon could fast forward or something. I pushed the wrong button. So the fruit becomes chulin, the money becomes, leave it. There's a problem there. Nothing. Oh, here. Can you start now? Yeah. Go. Good. What just happened? I don't know what. Okay, whatever. The point is, you take the cash to Yerushalayim. That's already in Yerushalayim. Okay. You take the cash to Yerushalayim and you buy any food you want. You go to a restaurant, buy steak, the whole thing. Besides, what can you buy there? Water and what else? No, fish. Can't buy gefilte fish. Mushroom. That's salt. Yes. Okay. Kids, you can't buy a bottle of water. Bottled water is no good. And fish. You can't buy sushi. Sushi and water. But everything else you can buy. Wine, nice wine, whatever you want. It comes out. Now, when you redeem the money, you have to add 25%. Go around, ask people in the street, what's a chomish? What does a chomish mean? A fifth. How much is a fifth? How much is a fifth?
1 out of 5.
Which is how many percent is that? 20%.
Exactly.
We call it 25%.
Right.
In Gemara language, 25.
Commissioner Bar.
Very good. Yeah. I don't even, very good, Yoshi. You got it. Milabar, not milagav. Go yigal. The rabbi say yoirish. When it comes out, because it says double lashon goyel yigal, only one can do it, not two. But we know that two could. Shani meiser shein is different. The gabi avuing nami isa b'shutfos is different. Meiser shein is different because you see that partnership does work. Over there, Ravashi umina, but l'chayri you can learn from Tmura. If you actually acquire it, I get it. If one actually acquires, that's why he could do Tmura. Meimar. Eli Amres Likanyilu, but if he didn't acquire it, Heichim Meimar. Hamagdish Moisef Chaimish. Okay, so let me see if I have something for this. I thought I did have something. Oh, here we go. We have two people. Yeah? There's a guy that needs a kapara. He did an aveira, but he doesn't have any money. So he has a good friend that sees his predicament. He says, I'm going to buy the carbon for you. He buys the carbon for him. So the guy on the left, he gets the kapara. He's going to use the animal to get rid of his aveira. The guy on the right purchased the animal. Now, who's the owner? Who owns the animal? Allah Akbar.
The guy on the right, he purchased it.
Oh. So we're going to see, it depends for what? Depends for what? For certain things, the guy on the right, for certain things, the guy on the left. So it says like this, Hamagdish Moisef Chaimish. The guy on the right, when he comes to redeem the animal, he has to pay 25% more. Here, we have a little bit of a video. Forgot to show this on Friday. I think it's this.
But the guy on the right's redeeming it.
Oh, here, hold on a second. There's a trade in place.
I want that one, the one reading the book. Your sacrifice is 25% more. Your sheep is 25% more.
What? Okay, so what? We're not going to show. We should show. I don't know if Gary could do this. I want to show that the park. I love the park thing. Once a day we should show that. The Yirachi Stav Park. But anyway, when an animal gets a mum, you have to redeem it. Yeah? Let's say it breaks its leg, you can't bring it as a carbon. So what do? You redeem it. You yourself can redeem it. Somebody else can redeem it. If the owner of the animal redeems it himself, he has to pay a 25% surcharge, restocking fee, whatever. Another surcharge, chaimish. But if somebody else redeems it, he doesn't have to. So now in this case, let's go back to this. One guy bought it, one guy used it. Who's the owner? Who has to pay the 25%? You're right. The guy that purchases it, he has to pay the 25%. However, and it's interesting because we see by Zdei Achuzah, it says, V'ma magdish yigal es beisoi. This is by Zdei Achuzah, but it says the one that designates the house for whatever it is, we're talking about the one that's magdish. So by a carbon also, he's magdish. He sets it aside as an animal. The Yazav Hamishis Kesef Erik Chalav, he gives another chaimish. Who has to give the chaimish? The magdish guy. Who's the magdish guy? In our case, it's the guy on the right, the guy that bought it. Look at the next halacha. And this is the halacha we're looking for. Umiskaper oisa temura. Oh, the one that gets the kapara, that's the guy on the left, who's using the animal for zavera. He could make this animal temura. He could say, I want this animal to be instead of that, and both of them will be kadesh, and he gets an avera for that. Now, if the inheritor doesn't get a kapara, he wouldn't be able to do temura. You see from over here that in order to be able to accomplish temura, again, what's temura? This case, where he takes one animal, this is the other, you have to be the one that gets the kapara. You have to be, yeah? You have to be the one that gets the kapara from it. In this case, we just saw that. Not the purchaser, but the guy that gets the kapara. So let's go back to our case. We have an inheritor. He's able to do temura. Wait a minute. If he doesn't get a kapara, he can do temura. So says the Gemara, and then we'll just finish up the halacha here. This is a super interesting halacha. That is, if a grandfather who's a Yisrael, yeah? A guy has a lot of truma. I just mixed it up. A guy has a lot of truma. What's truma? Has a lot of fruit. And it's worth a lot of money. This fruit could be millions of dollars that goes to the kohen. There's a trick you could do. You could manipulate the guy that's giving the $1 million truma, right? A guy owns a tremendous orchard of something. Yeah? He exports fruit to all over the world. He has to take 2% and give it to the kohen. That could be worth $1 million. I know the guy. I'm a Yisrael. I could go to the guy and say, listen, here's $10,000. Give the $1 million truma to my grandchild. My grandchild is a kohen, because my son-in-law is a kohen. Not in real life. But I'll just say. That's called Taivas Hano. Because I could ask somebody to give the truma to a certain person, and I could benefit a certain amount of money from it. Who gets that benefit? Again, here's a tzaddik who's doing the truma for his friend. He knows his friend can't afford it. He gets the benefit. The zaidi that's paying money that the truma should go to a certain person, he'll have to give the money to the guy, to the friend that's doing the truma, not the owner of the fruit. Okay. Says the Gemara, a very interesting thing here. This is something that in Brisk, I'm sure they'll learn this for weeks. I'm going to ask my guests after Shir. What does that mean? Yes, Tzvi, you remember the sugya? What does it mean? The real kapara you don't get over here. You get like a secondary kapara, like a weaker kapara. Now, in Lumdus, you have to understand that. What does it mean? Either it's like saying that a woman is she's a half in the matzav. There's no such thing. Either you're completely in the matzav or not. You can't be. Either you get a kapara or you don't get. Okay, but the Gemara says the main kapara, the main chet kapara you don't get from this. Just what? You get a little bit. So what does it say over here? In terms of, since a Yerush doesn't get a real kapara, he doesn't get the full kapara, so he's not considered a partner here. So when it comes to mincha, him and his brother don't ruin it. It's not like there's two partners giving a mincha, because you can't be a partner when you give mincha. They're not partners. Why? Because they're not getting the full kapara. In terms of making temura, they have enough kapara, a little tiny bit of kapara, whatever that means, that they could do temura. They're not partners, but they have enough invested over here that they could ruin and make temura. That's what the Gemara says. Next, brand new sugya, ibaylu. What? Oh. Amai, did you see this video? I'm just showing it for you. Check this out. This is it's one of my favorites. I just showed it the other day here in Dafay. This is if a sheep has a mum, what do you do with it?
מדע שלא מיונט.
He's made some Kevis land. This is a professional park that you get a mum in it. And here they are in line over there. They're all getting their pidyon and a cola, it says over there, if you read closely. And over here, he's buying with the money, he bought a naila. And what do you do with the naila? You bring it on the mizbeach. Kids mizbeach, dessert. That's why it's the whole thing in dessert. Okay. So the Gemara. I apologize. Not feeling the greatest, but we got to chug on. Hope I don't get you guys sick. The guys in the front rows here. Careful, masks. So the Gemara. Ibarlu. Kibru al mashabo or loy kibru. The Masechta started off, if a person brings a carbon and the Kohen had the wrong intent, he thought of, instead of saying this is an oil carbon, he says it's a shlamim, whatever it is. The question is, does the carbon accomplish a temporary kapara? What does temporary kapara mean? Since the guy is not available to bring a carbon for the next 2 weeks, will Hashem punish him in between? Does he have like a protection for those 2 weeks? Because he did bring a carbon, it wasn't great, it was a shaloi l'shma carbon. Is there a kapara temporarily? Mamash talking about Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, the whole thing. Omer Rav Sheish B'rei Ravidi, Mistabed L'Loi Kippur. L'chayr, there's no kapara. These are Gedat Kippur because if they did have a kapara, Sheni Lamu Uba. If there was a full kapara, then why are you bringing a second one? Velamai L'Loi Kippur. So okay, so there's no kapara. Lamu Karev. So there's no kapara. Why are you putting it on Mizbeach at all? Or Rav Ashi, Rav Sheish B'rei Ravidi, Hachik Kasha. No, you didn't understand this kasha. This kasha was as follows. What does that mean? Explains Rashi that even though there's no kapara, what happened? I brought an oila to the Beis HaMikdash. I told everybody to bring an oila. The kohen messed up. He said it's a shlamim. But I had the right intent. I did the right thing. So because I did the right thing, put it on the mizbeach. What do you care? Put it on the mizbeach. V'sheni lamuba. So why do I have to bring a second one? L'chaper. So I could get a kapara. But the reason why the first one goes on is because the kohen messed up. I didn't mess up. I did mikayach l'shmai. There was a good l'shma when I brought it to the Beis HaMikdash. The kohen ruined the l'shma. Okay? There's a guy, Rav Gav, left me a message. Love Rav Gav. He said there's a kid called Elio Weinstein. That's his Talmud. I think it was Rav Gav that left me a message. And that he learned 3 Masechtas Sefilot. He's 16 years old, and I should give him a shout out. Should I give him a shout out? Shout out. But I don't know, whatever. Okay. Zog the Gemara. Elo Yamers Kibru. But if there's a full kapara with the first one, Sheni Lamu Ba, what do you need a second one for? Ibailu. This oila. I say the lacha afrasha mikapra lo mikapra. So now we have a whole sugi. It's going to lead. It's going to go for the rest of the day at least. What is the oila? The oila comes. We're going to see. It's a gift to Hashem, but it also comes for kapara on if you're over nasei and also lav shenitik lasei gzeila etc. By the way, I just want to show you this. There's a very interesting shari tshuva rishon, right? So he brings a few mitzvahs. I think very important to know. Not everybody realizes that this is a mitzvah to say. One of them. When you imitate HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you kind of a mitzvah to say. You have rachmanas on people, you help people. It's a mitzvah to say. Believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, your pronounce is not so good today, it is good. We all know Rabbi Victor Miller. Rabbi Victor Miller, you get those pamphlets sometimes in shul. He was big into that. To pause for a moment and say, wow, look what Hashem did for me. He gave me these children. He gave me parnasa. I live in Eretz Yisrael. The whole thing. It's beautiful. But you have to stop and be mizbainen. Think about it. It's a nice thing. It's a Rabbi Victor Miller thing. No, it's a mitzvah saseh. The Reisa. You look at Gedus Hashem is more like, look at the sun, the moon, the Alps, everything, the beautiful things and all the stuff that Hashem did for us. Instead of complaining to Hashem, for us is not that great today. What is that? Tea? Is it hot? Shkoyach. Thank you very much. Great. Like too hot is not good for me. I don't know. There's a little water in there. Okay, fine.
I put a squirt of cold in there.
Oh, awesome. Good, because I don't want to burn my tongue in front of everybody. Okay. And listen to what he says at the end. Listen to this. Man was created for this list over here. To think about HaKadosh Baruch Hu once a day. Think, pause. He gave me this, he gave me that. Wow, unbelievable, I'm healthy. Pliny has this machla. Yeah, look at me, I'm doing well. The whole thing, you have to think. Mitzvah say. Okay, so here's the question though. This is what we're going to be dealing with now. If a person brings an oila, he designates this animal as an oila, he's on the way to the Beis HaMikdash, and he sins. A mitzvah say, he messes up, he steals a little bit, he messes up. Does the oila work for him or not? Now obviously it works for everything that was prior to him purchasing it and designating it. What about post-designation? And that's today's sugya. Oh, it should be like a chatos. What time is that? I have no idea because that clock is broken. Is it broken? Oh, I have 10 minutes to finish the daf. Oh boy. They're going to start coming in a minute. Oh, yivavoy. I got it.
We have 584 minutes.
Oshi, what happened to you today? You're like very vocal. Is your father here? Yeah, I got it. Somebody sitting next to him, make sure he's...
At what point does the carbon chatas become...
We have 10 minutes. It's a good question, but we have 10 minutes now. We got to go weiter. Mi amrinon, here, right here. We're talking about chatos. Mi dava chatos. Machatos the koydem afrosha in the la'achar afrosha loy. When you bring a chatos and you sin afterwards, it doesn't work for that. Af hachanami the koydem afrosha in la'achar afrosha loy. Let's say a guy, the Mishnah Berurah says, if you don't learn Hilchos Shabbos, you're guaranteed to be Mechal Shabbos. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know about Bayer, you don't know about Muktzah, you don't know about anything. So guy, he's a serious guy. He buys a carbon chatos before Shabbos. This is going to be for everything I do by mistake on Shabbos. Does it work? It doesn't work. So by oil it should also not work. Why does it? Avachanami, the koder of Rosh in Lachav Rosh Eloi. Real quickly, what does the person do today? We can't bring a chatas. What do you do today? You mechal Shabbos by mistake. You're going to love this. This is really going to make you very excited.
I like that. Good. Go.
The Ramah says, if you chatas, it's not a big deal. You just have to fast for 40 days. On a shoygig. Yeah, just on a shoygig. Now,
That's one opinion.
plus, no. It's the Ramah. This is how we paskin. Ramah is in the Shulchan Aruch. That's as the Ashkenazim, we paskin like him.
40 days.
40. Well, there's a way out of it.
Oh. Always.
Pay like $350 you can get out of it to tzedakah. It's not cheap. That's today. And of course you have to say the parasha of chatos. Oh, this whole thing. But you would rather probably fast for 40 days. It's not a big deal. I didn't want to. I was thinking about not even saying it because people are going to get all depressed and they're just going to leave the daf.
We can eat at night though, yeah? Barbecue.
Depends if you.
Nighttime.
You can do what the Arabs do. They go into the bathroom, eat in the bathroom, whatever. There's different ways. Says the Gemara. What's the comparison to the chatos? The chatos are called ched bayin la'asui chad chatos. Every shoyi that you do, you have to bring a chatos. Every aver you do, another chatos. One oil, you b'mechaper many assays. Asay delachar rosh, not b'mechaper. So maybe it includes so many averes, so it'll include also averes post designation. Toshma. V'somach v'nirtza. Let me just show you the smicha, the new one. If you didn't see this is new. It's only 2 days old. Smicha means certain karbanos, you have to lean with all your weight on the animal. Sometimes it doesn't work out well. Reb Shimshon Hirsch says, what's the idea of smicha? He brings a raya from different places in the Torah. He says that, you see, Moshe leaned on Yeshua, Klal Yisrael leaned on the Levim. It's when you want to give over from one to the other. Over here, you're giving your aveira from you into the animal. That's the idea of smicha. That's what he says. Al Kopanim, I thought about it on Shabbos. I should have told the Israelis that we're starting 10 minutes later. I don't know why I said an hour. It never works. And we have a little bit more time today. We started earlier today. Chaval. Tell those guys we're starting shirt 10 minutes later, okay? Thank you. Oh, before anything, I have to say Shalom Aleichem. You're not so new. You. What's your name? Oh, that's right. Shalom Aleichem. Now, you guys, what's your name? Stuart Rubin. From? Shalom Aleichem. And who's next to you hiding? From? Shalom Aleichem. And next to you, what's your name? Wow, he's got a whole mix over there. Shmak. Very nice. Okay, thank you for coming. Whoever I didn't say hello to, I apologize. So what's the v'somach v'nirtza? You lean and you get a kapara, v'nirtza. Ask the Gemara, v'chismicha v'chaperes. What comes? First you do smicha, what comes right after smicha, Rabbi Isai? Shchita, Kabbalah, Haylacha, Zrika. What happened to that? I thought the kapara is in the 4 avodas, especially the Zrika and the Mizbeach. How can you have a kapara just from smicha? I'm flying now because we got to go. What does it mean? You treated the smicha like a nothing, like you didn't even do it. You get a kapara and you don't get a kapara. What does that mean? It's a raya that what? The keeper I say the kodim afrasha. You get a kapara for all the averis I say that you did before you brought the oila, before you designated it. Like keeper I say the smicha. But you don't get a kapara on this final one over here that you just messed up, that you didn't do smicha. Because that's an assay that happened after the designation. So you see from here, you don't get a kapara on something after you designated. Omarava, listen to this chap. This is a beautiful deher. Assay the smicha ka'amras. You bring me a rye from smicha. Think about it for a second, Rabbi Isai. When are you over the aveira of not doing smicha? When? You brought a carbon into the base of English. When are you over? After shchita. We're talking about whether or not there's a kapara before the shchita. After shchita, of course you don't get a kapara. It's too late. You have a dead animal. So when it comes to smicha, we can't even talk about smicha. When are you over? When you shecht. That's not our question. Not about shechting. Our question is right before the shchita, not after the shchita. I said this. Shani asked him to call kamadalei shachit. If you didn't shecht, he wasn't over yet. He could still do smicha. So when is he over? Only at the time that the animal's dead and you can't do shchita anymore. That wasn't our question. Of course, after shchita, there's zero kapara. You can't kill an animal, do shchita, do whatever you do, and then do an avera and say, oh, it should forgive my avera. No. Keeper gavra. Oh, so he says, no, but maybe the pshat is keeper, but like keeper, maybe the pshat is a little different. Keeper like keeper gavishmaya. Sorry. Ema keeper gavra. Like keeper kamishmayo. So funny during the meal, the 2 brisket guys are trying to explain to Bachar from another yeshiva what Gavra and Chefetz is. Sitting there and explaining it. Like keeper kamishmayo. This is also very interesting. They'll get a kapara for the aveira, but they weren't meratz Hashem. Hashem is not happy with it. Whatever that means. Let me show you this. I got to show it to you real quickly. What's going on in this picture? I asked Yoshi to make this picture. What's going on in this picture? Why is the guy green? This is Gan Eden. This is Gan Eden and he's green. It's a little weird if you're running around Gan Eden, thousands of people, and you're green. And you have a white beard, the whole thing. Why are you green?
He's a young little bastard.
One of my requests.
Oh my gosh, somebody, seriously. Maisa b'chasidechad, says the Mishabura. But Tur b'shem chasidim, the Tur Rishon brings it to Shem chasidim. Maisa b'chasidechad, shirah l'chasid acher b'maisoi, Perish b'chaloim, says the Chafetz Chaim. He saw a guy in his dream. Upon a marikos, he had a green face. Why is his face green? I spoke during Vayichulu. This is hard to find this one because it's in Hilchos Shabbos. So no, this is just the push that we're doing now, not to speak. I saw people today, because they went to the shir and the Ma'ariv Minyan, people talking during Kaddish, the guy, just not during Kaddish, just not, our thing is, not during Kaddish. Okay, one other thing. People ask me, where did I find that thing that if you talk during Kaddish, then when your kids say Kaddish for you, that doesn't mean anything. I made it up. No, I didn't. I saw it in Sefer. I saw it somewhere. I'll have to find it. Miloit nan. V'anoisa b'shemen. Oh, Rabbi said this is Givaldic also. We're learning so many new concepts. It's hard to comprehend and to figure it all out. One of the, I don't know, this might be the longest procedure in the Torah, is when a person is a Matzayra, and he comes to the Beis HaMikdash, and there's a whole thing where the Kohen takes the blood, puts it on his big thumb, and on his toe thumb, and on his ear, and then he puts oil on his thumb that has the blood, and on his toe, and it's all at the entrance, the Sharni corner. Here, we have a little bit of a thing here. I think it's beautiful. Check this out. I told Yoshi, you can't just have a foot. It has to poke through the MDY sock. Now, let me explain. The guy is shaved, right? His head is shaved. He puts the oil on his finger, and he puts the oil on his toe, and the rest of the oil that's in the palm of the hand of the other Kohen, here, there's a Kohen standing there, puts it on his ear. The rest of it goes, you're not going to believe this. Where does it go? On his head. Yeah. That's the procedure. So what happens if you mess up, you don't put it on his head? If you put the oil on his head, the Mitzari gets a kapara. And if not. No. It's the leftover of the mitzvah. It's not the main part of the mitzvah. If you forgot, he gets a kapara. But it's as if he didn't get a kapara. Wait a minute. He gets a kapara, doesn't get a kapara. My kilula keeper. If the pshat is asked to bring another carbon completely, you just told me he gets a kapara. So if he gets a kapara, he doesn't have to bring another carbon. So what does it mean? Elakiper gavra. The guy gets a kapara. Here we see this concept of the person has a forgiveness, but he didn't. Rashi says he didn't give a nachas ruach to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Yeah, Hashem is not happy with him. Chanami keeper still doing our sugya. Maybe that's the pshat of keeper v'loy keeper. Says Gemara, no. Hasanami keeper matim b'hoynois, loy keeper matim saroish. No, the pshat is simple. He was yaitza putting it on his thumbs and on his ear, but he wasn't yaitza putting it on his head. So what does that mean? So what if you're not yaitza? That means you have to buy a new bottle of oil, a lug, and just pour it on his head. And according to Rekiva, you would have to start all over again. Zok the Gemara Tashma. Again, what's the question? Oh, sponsors. What's the question? The question is, son. Turning of the daf. By me it wasn't. Adar Global Specialist in International Financial Services. Anonymous. Nizech Nishmas. Reb Chaim Erev Eloz Ashkenazi. Anonymous. In gratitude to Rebellion and MDY for promoting Achdus Yisrael and Ahavas Yisrael Yishkoya. So, the question is, if a person designates a carbon oila and then he sins afterwards, is the carbon oila going to work for him or not? So here we have, on Shavuos, you bring 2 loaves of bread. That's the ikar mitzvah, to bring the 2 loaves of bread, and you bring shlamim with it, and you bring siri chatos. Kivzi atzeres lama imbayim. Says Gemara, Kivzi atzeres shlamim nina. What do you mean? It goes together with the breads. Elo, siri atzeres lama imbayim. Why do you need 2? Al-tumas migdash v'kadashav. It comes to forgive on the tumah and the Beis HaMikdash. Remember, the kohen stepping on a mouse. I don't have it here, but if the kohen steps on a mouse in the Beis HaMikdash, a dead mouse, he has to walk out right away. If you're tummy, he'll walk in. So for that chet, it comes to be mechaper. Nizrak damish rishon, shenin lamakarev. I don't understand. If you already got a kapara by the zrika, you went through all 4 avaydas, shchita, kabbalah ilach zrika, and you sprinkled the blood on the mizbech. There's a kapara. Why do I have to do it all over again? Sheni lamakarev. You're not going to believe this. Al tumah sho'ira ben zelazeh. What if a kohen messed up and he became tummy in between the 2 korbanos? Now, what are you asking? If so, you should bring a carbon every 5 minutes. The entire year, forget about Yom Kippur, forget about every single day. You should bring, forget about Shavuos, every day of the year, you should bring a carbon every 10 minutes, just in case there's a tumah in between this carbon and that carbon. So as I brought this carbon, maybe a dead mouse showed up over there. Ella, you're right, you should. El Shechizach HaKasav. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has Rachmanis on the money of Klal Yisrael, and he said, it's enough, just 2 over here. But the problem is, what's the right? You designated these 2 guys. Yeah, these 2 guys are designated together. So, when did the tumah happen in the Beis HaMikdash? Between the first and the second. They were both designated already. That means that a carbon works to forgive a sin that happened after the designation. They're already designated. Says Gemara, that's not a raya. You're right. If, like you thought, that they were both designated together, great. No, he designated one, and on Shavuos, an hour later, they designated another one for the tumah in between. Says Gemara, that makes no sense. You tell me the whole pasuk is talking in such a situation? No. Amar Papa Karbonis Sibakar is asking me a question from these 2 animals that are brought by the community. Shani Karbonis Sibur, the Lev Bezdin Komas Naleim. What happens is that the Bezdin, the ones that are in charge of the community, when they purchase these animals, they say, or when they designate it, they say the designation is happening right now, but it's only going to be chal when we want it. In other words, these are designated as sirim, but the first one is going to be, the designation is going to, what's the word I'm looking for? The chalois, it goes into effect, thank you, it goes into effect at 12 o'clock. The second one doesn't go into effect until we decide it goes into effect. That will go into effect at 2 o'clock. So anybody that comes tummy in between will get a kapar from the second one. They're able to do it because it's bezin. They can decide when it goes into effect, when it doesn't go into effect. Says the Gemara, and with this we're going to finish. Real quickly, we're going to see it tomorrow as well. The way it works, we bring 2 carbon tamids every single day. One in the morning, one in the evening. But we have 4 or 6 sitting in the pen, just in case one of them becomes a balmum. The last day of the year, which is the first day of Nisan, we start this whole thing over, the whole process with the machzah shekel, we start bringing new karbanas. What do you do with the 4 left over? So they just go out. Why? But they were designated as carbon tamid. No, Bezin decides when it becomes a tamid. When we bring it in the kain shechtzit, at that moment it becomes a tamid. Before that, it's 0. You could go ahead and that's one shita. Why? Because the knife is what decides to do it. Rabbi Sai, have a gewaltige week. Shkar for coming.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.